Good morning. So today for disaster management, we are going to learn about CBRN, that is chemical, biological, and nuclear. Mostly, we use this term CBRN with associated with wars and terrorism and any antisocial, activities which is causing disruption to life, threat to life and property, and also destruction and disruption of environment and economic development of our nation. So when we are talking about chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear disasters or hazard, we have this general notion of uh, an attack, a foreign attack, right? So whenever a foreign attack is uh, exerted upon, from another country, or external threat, or even a threat of people who are, you know who are not in coinciding with the present government, right? Components like chemical, biological agents or pathogens, radiological tool and radiological equipments, and nuclear have a great deal of, threat to danger, or threat to human life, as chemicals, like, there have been a time where chemical warfares were used, warheads were used against the nation enemy nations, where they used to get burnt. The first use of chemical warfare was the use of tear gas. Tear gas being used against the riot, to break the riots, break the, unrest, unruly, citizens. It was first used in America, but later on, now it is used all over the world, wherever there is an uncontrolled mob trying to protest or getting violent. So to protect the personals, instead of, opting for an extreme step of, shooting out the citizens, they choose to use a chemical which will subside or subdue them for a short period of time, although they have a very adverse effect on their lungs, their skins, their eyes, and other internal bodies. Apart from that, chemical disasters can originate from, industrial accidents, and it can happen due to road accidents, or any, logistics that is failing, and getting, what do you call it, derailed, and these chemicals spilling over into the environment, causing environmental degradation and losses, right? So today we are going to learn how a response team and authorities are working in hand to deal with chemical, biological, and nuclear terrorism or nuclear hazard, uh, and how they are, preparing themselves, the emergency preparedness of, to deal with CBRN situations. Okay. The problems are the agents, whether it's chemical agent, or it is, you know it is a biological agent, uh, nuclear agent, or radiological agents. They will all have different, set for identification, right? It is not very easy for identifying any of these things, like chemical agents and biological agents. Chemical agents, yes, still you can identify and recognize where the, the incidence has happened, what chemical is causing it. But Biological agents is very difficult. We have talked about biological agents yesterday, and we have talked about how biological hazard, or agents can be a potential threat, and how it can be used as a terrorist activity, or antisocial activities against the mankind. The principal objective of this is that to obtain political consciousness by negotiating, and the terrorism basically is, and negotiating with the government, the acting government. Then they have the objective of injuring as many, or causing mass casualty as much as they can, so that they have a better hands in negotiation. So CBRN problem is like modern society change very fast, and the history and historical analysis may not be a very useful for the scenario of building enduring this threat, right? So past event may not be necessary be the best guide for the future planning of the scenario. Like we have for natural disasters, like whether earthquake, cyclone, we always go back to the historical analysis, how it was, how it affected, how what was the intensity, what was the frequency of these hazards coming again and again. But in the case of CBRN, due to a modern technology and advancement and development that is happening, and new researchers and new discoveries are being made, this scenario cannot be implemented in this kind of situations, when it is a more like a what do you call it, a man-made situation, right? So past events will not help you guide through the losses, right, that it can have, or it is causing, right? So there is an infinite possibility of the scenario here. So they can be um, unprecedented, uncalculated a level of possibilities of scenarios that can arise. So this the orthodox thinking that will help the face the terrorist activities will not work, so it is continuously changing. So we also need to continuously change when the antisocial and terrorist mindset, or what do you call, the forces that wants to work on. So so palliatively and analytically capabilities are expensive, but are necessary to be implemented. So hence uh, we have to have a preventive, as well as have an analytical capability, to have some sort of idea where and how we can contain it. So there is a guidelines, there is a operating system given to the associated authorities. So incapacitated and unfamiliar threats to the health, lack of sincere cues, prolonged or reluctant aftermath, potential high contagious areas, and producer or observable casualty in during the CBRN incidences. So what happens is, during CBRN incidences, um, in many authorities or people or the victims can get incapacitated. The threat could turn out to be an unfamiliar situation. There can be less idea or awareness among the people or the masses, and then there can be a threat, a prolonged threat, or a reluctant aftermath lingering over the area. So there's a when there is a prolonged aftermath, or after the incident effect remains, the potentially is a high contagious region, the losses will be higher. Okay. So this will produce a higher casualty, a major, or a larger area of mass casualties, right? So like the case of a Alexander Levinto, he this was a case in America. A small concentrated attack with a high toxic substance was, emitted in American city. It is a confidential place, so it is not. But this is a case study which is taught to the authorities on a very common basis. So a small concentrated attack with a high toxic substance, all right, and about 30 local contaminate localities were contaminated. The test on hundreds of people were made, and a strand on many different agencies were made on. So the problem of determining who was the possible culprit of for the cleaning up the mm, toxins that has been left into the environment was difficult to determine. Right, there were many what do you call industries dealing with that toxins, and they did not know which industry was the responsible of this mass dissemination of toxins into 30 localities. So overall, claiming a large number of people, large number of people were injured and affected. Okay, so then you have many tools to assimilate, to identify and analyze and pinpoint what is the actual cause. The laboratory errors with CBR emissions. So what happens is chemical, biological, and radiological emissions can sometimes interrupt or disrupt the laboratory equipments. Nuclear emission, that is, have a radiological electromagnetic effect which will seize your equipments. Then industrial or military accidents with chemical, nuclear, radiological emissions can also seize it. Terrorist attacks with CBRN contaminants can be a very high threat. Chemical, biological, or nuclear warfare, that is CBN, and disease epidemic or pandemic situation, sabotage with poisonous agents, they are all part of CBRN protocol or guidelines to be followed. So where you have threats, that is laboratory errors can happen, and you can by mistake you can miss out the chemical, biological, or radiological emissions into the atmosphere. There can be nuclear emissions due to a failure of nuclear power plant, industry, like, and laboratory errors. It can happen, like, as it is said in corona cases, that there was an accident in the laboratory where it had escaped the loose protocol followed to maintain the the proper sanitation, to maintain the coronavirus contamination into the lab was not followed very well, and hence it had escaped through maybe a small incident or an accident. Now, nuclear emissions can happen due to failure of nuclear power plant, like what had happened in Long Island, that is in USA. Then in Chernobyl, long back in Chernobyl, when Chernobyl was is in Ukraine. It is a city in Ukraine, now in Ukraine, and former USSR. So when Chernobyl happened, this incident happened, it was part of USSR. Then you have industrial or military accidents by chemical, nuclear, or radiological emissions. Let me give you an example of industrial accident, like what happened in Bhopal gas tragedy. Bhopal gas tragedy happened on 3rd December, or you can say 4th December, early morning, 1984, where immediately it claimed over 30,000 people, and at today's time more than 2 lakh people are affected and are suffering with post exposure of the chemicals that was emitted during the Bhopal gas tragedy. It happened in Union Carbide Limited, factory. They were dealing with pesticides, and the key component in that pesticide was methyl isocyanide. And because it was a pesticide, so it had a very damaging effect on all the organisms. So it was a this industry was in the center of, very congested and highly populated region. So it that's why it affected so many people in a very short period of time. A large number of people were, affected because of it. Very very large number of cattle and animals were dead, and there was a quite a large number of loss in terms of life, property, and destruction of life. Even today, the people, like over 2 lakh people, are claiming to get compensation from the losses that they had suffered during this industrial accident. You can say it was due to the negligence and the protocol that they were supposed to follow, and they did not. This chemical accident happened. Similar such nuclear accidents also happen in industrial sectors, and emissions can affect the uh, population nearby. Then you have terrorist attacks, which is deliberately using the CBRN contaminants into the atmosphere to cause mass casualty, hysteria, and chaos, so that it cannot be they can have a better bargain. So it is more like an antisocial, people can use it. Then you have chemical, biological, or nuclear warfare, when a country is using it against another country, where you are using all the tools. Like yesterday, I've told you, chemical warfare or nuclear warfare warheads are still expensive to deal with, but biological warfare is a very cheap and easy to disseminate warfare, right? Similarly, you have diseases and pandemic like situations like what we are on today's time. The predicaments are that we have to earn our living. We have to keep going on. Like since past 2 years, we have on the on the lockdown. Sometimes it's opening, sometimes it's closing, but we are not able to completely contain this infection from spreading furthermore. So as it is, there are new strands of viruses which is developing in under the regime of COVID-19. So and hence that's why this is almost a worst case of pandemic that we are facing, even though with good amount of modern technology and medical advancements, we are still suffering. I will not discuss about the pandemic history, because we have already did in biological disasters. uh, I will just say that we have been facing the pandemic and epidemic situation on and off over a long period of time, since the mankind or the existence of human beings. But in today's time, when with all modern technologies and development, we are still not able to contain it. Why? Because there are still many areas or loopholes that are left that has to be addressed. Sabotaging with poisonous agents can also be a cause of a threat or hazard in area region, where it can cause loss to life and property, right? Some miscreants can leave out poisonous material from an industrial to into the atmosphere or environment, so maximum number of people get contaminated. uh, just a minute. So industrial accidents, like what victims are people. Industrial accidents, medical accidents, nuclear accidents, zootic accidents, that is infection through food chain. Like I have talked about bioaccumulation. What happens is when toxins get accumulated into your metabolic systems, that is zootic effect. Then you have CBRN attacks. Then you have again ephilotic effect, that is, when you have pathogen contamination into food, water chain, all those things will affect your livelihood, general processes of living, and so on. The possible effect of chemical attacks are like psychological reactions, like acute stress disorder, grief, anger, and blame. Continuous, somatization, but may not lead to a panic, but it has a psychological reaction. Then your physical reaction in chemical effect is that it can be cancerous, birth defect, neurological defect, rheumatic, or immunological diseases can arise due to chemical attacks. How some chemicals are carcinogenic, so can cause cancer. Some chemicals are so devastating that it can alter with your genetic components, like what had happened in Bhopal gas tragedy. The chemical was so devastating that it had caused defects, birth defects in children while they were in in their mother's womb, and the mother inhaled these poisonous gases, and hence developed a birth defect in their children. Then you have neurological defect, like using tear gas can leave you with neurological defects, like seizures, frequent seizures, and what do you call it, convulsions can be a very common thing who are the victims of chemical attacks. Rheumatic diseases can happen, like and immunological diseases can happen, like immune systems can be compromised due to chemical attack. The instruments of attack could be, it could be like with a warhead, or it can be other mediums. So some possible means of attacks can be, viral or bacterial pathogens, chemical toxins, radioactive substances, and nuclear weapons. A possible mean of disruption of a chemical or biological agents can be aerial dispersion, or launching, bombing, missiles, and dispersion by hand or by contact. Possibilities are like they can be delivered by weaponizing it through like warheads, which can turn out to be expensive, but still, sometimes warheads are used to cause panic and anxiety among the citizens. Use of common pathogens, which is like locally available pathogens like anthrax is a very common pathogen, but it you cannot usually contract anthrax, it being naturally existing toxin, but you cannot easily get it until unless it is a deliberate attempt to contaminate as many people as possible, because the cross contamination can spread it furthermore. Then contaminate did missiles or bombs can be used. Hoax or false alarm can be generated to cause panic among the people. What determines the risk level is that um, how lethal your weapon is, the CBRN technology is, or the chemical biological agents are. Practical size, what is the size or amount it is being used, how pure or diluted it is, and how easy the substance is to transport or disseminate will determine the level of risk. Whether the victims are able to survive the attack or not, that is also will determine whether how risk prone it is towards human life and property. Possible source of pathogens in biological attacks can be epidemic, like anthrax, plague, smallpox, salmonella. Then you have dengue, Ebola, hemorrhagic fever. Uh, then you have bloatism, or you have in today's time flu, that is Corona is also a type of flu, so corona. Possible impact of biological attack on the food chain can be epizootic, that it can be from foot to mouth disease, bovine and spongi spread, and mass poisoning can also be through the vegetables or other sources that we consume. The possible impact of biological attack on the food chain is that kernel burnt fungus can be there, uh, like you have what do you call corns. So corns have a type of fungus growing in them that can be while if you do not pay attention, you grind up that fungus and you consume it. It has, if you consume it in a mild manner, it will have a little hallucinogenic effect on you or a psychological effect on you. But consumed in a large amount can cause acute dysentery, diarrhea, stomach ache, colic, and disorientation, and even can cause death. Right. Then you have some other pathogens and fungal infections of rice and other grains can be coming into your system through consumption. Right, so that's how it basically comes from the food chain that you are consuming. Examples of incubation periods are like anthrax have of almost about 1 to 6 days to incubate within a system and show up. Smallpox have about 12 days, incubation before it shows up. Plague has 2 to 3 days before it shows up. And there are other diseases also which have their incubation time. Like even corona has a incubation time. Depending on which strand you are contracting, it is also said that maybe you have come across or through the cross contamination you have come across corona. It can escalate within 1 to 2 days in this system. Suddenly you will fall prey to, because it has the protein attachments in the corona has such characteristics that it can get attached to your other body parts, causing blood clots and damaging the other part of your body. Biological agents can are basically naturally found difficult and are small scale. Uh, they are not very volatile and toxins. There are many types of toxins are there. Effect there can be some effect on the skin or may not be. Chemical agents are are more human made, man made, anthropogenic material. Industrial scale, it can be made in a large scale. It has a very high intensity and amount of destruction that it can cause. And toxicity could be less, but it is a very highly active while it is used. Now, chemical agents, like no, you can have a sense about chemical agents, but in biological agents you will not be able to smell it or taste it. Toxic effects, there in a biological agents, yes, there can be a toxic effect if in case you have consumed some fungus or or some bacteria that after dying it leaves out you know antibodies, so that will cause toxins in your system. Chemical agents have few toxins. Immunologen, often it is generated immune system we generate in biological agents. If we are exposed to a biological agent, we will develop a immune against it. Rarely generated, it is the immune is rarely generated. Then delivered by aerosols, and aerosols could be or it could be in the form of droplets and vapors. Bautism is the symptoms can show up in 1 to 2, about 3 days. Uh, Whereas nerve gas will immediately show on your uh, as soon as it is disseminated. Deaths in Bautism could be in 2 to 3 days. Nerve gas or tear gas, you can say, the deaths can be within minutes or hours. Okay, it is an immediate if you are exposed to it too much. So it will be a few hours that you can survive it. uh, Effects on the nerves, there's a progressive paralysis that happens in Bautism, whereas in nerve gas, convulsions and spasm will happen at the immediate exposure to it. Cardiac rhythms will be normal, but in nerve gas your cardiac rhythms will be reduced. You may also suffer with bradycardia. Then respiration will be normal in Bautism because it's a biological agent, whereas nerve gas, you will have difficulty in breathing, so you can be suffocated. Gastrointestinal infection will reduce the mobility, but it increase the mobility and pain when you have a exposed to a nerve gas. So your bowel movement will be faster, and it will be a painful bowel movement. Ocular, like vision, eyelids will drop or droop, but here, or the vision or your eyes, you will not be able to see, or maybe because it is corrosive in nature, and it will your pupils will completely contract, and you will see less because of the contraction of the pupil. Saliva, you will salivate a lot in nerve gas, and whereas in Bautism you will have difficulty in swallowing. There will be a tight figuring out on your neck, whereas in nervous gas you will be salivating very high. Respond to an atropine, there will be no atropine in Bautism, but in nervous system, yes, there will be an atropine response. uh, mm, this is an image from World War I, where the soldiers were, they have tied a bandana around their eyes so that their eyes do not get exposed to the chemicals, and they're sluggish. They have lost their strength to walk around. So that's what is the consequences are if you are exposed to these things. So consequences of an attack, that injuries and illness caused by the toxin agent, risk to reproduction and human fertility can be there. Psychological and psychosomatic effect will multiply, um, uh, and physical symptoms can be seen. You can be also exposed to post traumatic syndromes. Elements of emergency response to plan, that is, it recognize the scope and nature of the attack. Mass prophylaxis, management of large number of deaths, management and security of the public, limited access to the site of the attack. All right. Now, elements of emergency response to plan, diagnosis and doctrine, doctorate the site and victims, quarantine it, safety of emergency workers, specialized equipments, approach and role and task. Right. Situation monitoring requirements are, number of sick people, nature of symptoms, rapid diagnosis is important, mass casualties to be handled, management procedures, and antimicro or antitoxin therapies should be implemented during this situation to monitor, and requirements to be met. Now, analysis of the of samples taken from the site or from the victims to be analyzed. Rapid and timely alarm rising and analyzing its essential is very essential part. Special transport is required for a dangerous sample. period. So you cannot just openly transport the sample if these samples are collected from on site. So you have to have certain precautions, and it has to be done very quickly so that you can generate a warning system in case it has a high contamination and spread like characteristics. So use only specialized and highly qualified laboratories with specialized analytical equipment, a staff of expert, or an ability to discern minuscule trace of pathogens or toxin produce, designed to avoid the contamination. Okay, now role of scenarios in indicating the preparedness needs. So why do we need to have drills, training sessions? Is that the knowledge, cause, agents, and effects should be known. When it is unknown, it should be known. The cause known, agents and effects are unknown, and the cause and agents known, and the effects are unknown. That is diffusion mechanism of nuclear, cause and agents of effect is still unknown, and so the reaction predictability or not, uh, dynamic evolution of the events. Some this is a region, a religion of supreme truth. That is 20th March 1995, an attack on Tokyo metro train. So this is a case study of Tokyo metro train. About 5,000 people, 5,500 people were affected. 278 people were hospitalized, and 98 of them admitted. 1046 patients were admitted. Then you have 68 patients transported by the ambulances, and for 4800 made their own way to the hospitals. So this is a scenario that it is shown that there was an attack in the metro where, in Japan in 1995, and it had a large amount of affecting the people in that, claiming a lot of patients who needed assistance, who would taken from by ambulances or other logistic transportation. Then you have some victims went by on themselves, some were treated then and there. So it claimed about 12 deaths. Critically injured were 17, seriously injured were 37, moderately ill were 984, and slightly ill were about 332 people. So about 110 hospital staff and 10% of the first respondent contaminated. So the worries were that about 4,000 112, that is 80% of the patients were exposed to it. The mythogeneric problem with the crowd control in during this situation is that rioting and other opportunistic crimes could be anticipated. So it like what had happened in Stan in 1997, the assumption of panic reflect a hiatus between sociological and psychological view of the phenomena. The first responders, you know are what the problem will the volunteer, the first responder, and the hospital staff have to deal with in the CBRN incidents is that a possible contamination. First of all, they can be possibly getting contaminated. Responders and medical staff, the physical and mental state of the victims and patients can be uncertain and can be affecting uh, the first hand uh, responders. So what problems will a volunteer, first the responder and the hospital staff have to deal with the CBRN incident? Lack of inadequacy of protective equipments can lead to large number of losses. Lack of trained and unskilled personals can increase the prolonged aftermath, and lack of familiarity with the equipment and procedure can also prolong the aftermath effect. Okay. Like in London underground tunnel in 2005, rescue operations by London Fire Brigade were played by 15 to 20 minutes by the need of the certain they were uncertain whether it was CBRN contamination that had been used in the attack. Meanwhile, victims died of their injuries, so it was difficult to first of all fathom whether it was a CBRN contamination or not. So, day in responding to the incident led to heavy criticism by the public. Asserting a level of contamination takes special equipments and training, so can slow down rescue in critical incidences. Risk aversion may lead to failure to commit the staff to rescue other uh, the victims. Long term liability of the rescuers' injuries is a serious problem during the aftermath response. It is the time to rethink that what are the rules and engagements that has to be considered. Like, if a medical team, you have triaging, so you have the site identifying the degree of losses and the degree of contamination, the proximity to it. You can triage it, the triage the problem, like on-site triage, medical triage, and evacuation triage. Like on-site triage, you will tag the people who are in grave requirement of medical assistance first, so you will tag them, red. Then you will tag them yellow, who do need medical assistance but it can be delayed for few hours. And you will tag those red, green, those who may need medical assistance but not have an immediate effects. And then there is a black tag for those who are morbid, who are dead, and they could be carried off directly to the morgue instead of getting assembled into one floor area. So required ionizing radiation demonstrator should be there, like in case of you have uh, radiological or nuclear contamination. Biological symptoms may be again delayed by 3 minutes or a week time, depending on the test set series. Then uh, we have decontamination. We have to decontaminate the area. So first people, then interior environment where it was, and external environment has to be decontaminated. Okay. So decontamination level A, that is and level B have two different way of aspects. Like medical staff and first responder will provide PPE level 1 contamination, and which is unknown, and PPE level 2 contamination is known, that is it can be nuclear exposure or chemical exposure, where you know what type of contaminants you are dealing with. Whereas in biological contaminants, you do not yet know what type of contaminants you are dealing with. Very considerable unnecessary necessity surrounds the picture of discontamination. Regarding the protocol and practices and effect, efficiency and time span can be reduced. Okay. So the contaminated patient can have a secondary contamination for the responder and hospital staff. The storage of personal protection equipment and exercises on how to use it. Then you have shortage of isolated facilities so that you can isolate somebody or quarantine somebody. In case of a chemical attack, the following aspects of decontamination protocol are to be taken. Which is again highly debatable, like chemical agents, where you have to completely take off your clothes and get yourself decontaminated. uh, Same with the nuclear agents, biological agents also it is expected. Limitations on the use of PPE is that restriction of physical activity, manual determination, and also communication problem. It can cause dehydration, heat related illness can happen among the those people who are working long hours into PPE kit, and psychological effects. Okay, now health concern following CBRN attack, like chronic injuries and injury directed caused by the toxic agents. So, to be coming to the conclusion that we, need to know how to deal with the various contamination and contaminants and agents. What are their characteristics, and how? What are the precautions that you can be taken up? So, thinking about the implication of CBRN intervention, the onset of mild to moderate sign and symptoms of following the terminal exposure to various agents may have an orophoric nervous agents and chemical weapons that has a lethal dose of about 10 milligram and can cause a lot of losses. So this is an example that has given, like a chemical weapon can be used. Similarly, biological weapons is like biological agents can be deliberately left on. Radiological, I'll give a case study of Delhi. In Delhi, uh, university, some department dealing with radiological equipment had sold out their old equipment, radiologically active equipment, uh, to what do you call, the sale, in the sale. So it landed up with the scrap market. And this when it landed into the scrap market, it was just left and dumped outside. So it started emitting radiological emissions around it. It was caught in time and contained in time, but later on it was realized that that equipment which was emitting radiological emissions, which was having a harmful effect around that region, were because of a negligent disposal of radiological devices. Similar thing can happen in medical sectors, where you are using radiological treatment for treating cancer and malignant things, where you're like chemotherapy, they are using radiological uh, agents to burn or curtail down the carcinogenic part from the body. And if you do not dispose this radiological chemical in a proper way, it can be exposed to the environment and can affect them in a very adverse manner. uh, Similarly, we have nuclear, again, thermal power station, then you have terrorists and antisocial people working in convention to cause destruction, and also disruption, or cause panic among the people, right? So we need to have knowledge, awareness, and a protocol and framework and guidelines to follow in case of certain incidences that happens. Okay. Okay, so this makes the chapter complete. Now we can go to LMS and finish off our quiz, and see you tomorrow with the next lecture. Have a nice day.